Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Apart from the fact that we've been discussing the cabinet nominations from President Bola Tinubu, there is something that should give the president some kind of worry, and it's the internal workings of the APC. Well, the president, with his nomination, had somewhat decimated the composition, the membership of the National Working Committee of the APC. Senator Kyari and Ms. Betta Edu, both of them are now going to be serving on the cabinet pending their confirmation by the Senate. Beyond that, the party does not have a national chairman, and the party does not have a national secretary. They have acting national chairman and acting secretary. There's been talks about replacing Senator Adamu and Senator Yelo Mishore, both men who 2 weeks ago, about over a week now, are said to have resigned their position. Now, Senator Abubakar Kyari is now being nominated. He's the acting national chairman. But yesterday, one man has raised dust about an eyebrow about the internal workings of the APC is Mr. Salihu Lukman, the APC national vice chairman. But he has said that he is resigning his position because of the ongoings. Let's speak with one of the members of the National Working Committee of the APC, Felix Moka. He's the National Publicity Secretary of the APC. He joins us live here in our studio. Thank you so much, Mr. Moka, for joining us.
As always, thank you for inviting me.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
28 names out of possible 42 that we have seen. This list, was in consultation with the party?
As you know, Sheon, the president has the prerogative to constitute his cabinet. In the course of that, he's also entitled to consult freely and widely, but there's no requirement that he must talk to anybody. But, informally he does, and I'm quite sure that he did in this instance, because the president is someone who is very resolved and determined to do well as a leader, as president of this country. So I reckon that he, has taken his time. I know a lot of people were expecting that this list would have, come out sooner than it did. But, again, that's the man really taking a lot of care to ensure that he puts together a team that can help him succeed as president. So if you look at the list that part of the campaign that your party has come up, one of the main campaign promise or campaign agenda was they keep reminding Nigerians, what Bola Tinubu did in Lagos. The fact that he had very fantastic people who easily mentioned Wale Edun, Babatunde Fashola, mentioned the likes of Professor Yemi Oshibajo. Easily they mentioned these kind of personalities, and that is the kind of characters that you will see in and around him. Do you think that campaign statement was brought to bear in this cabinet list that we saw? Well, this is a pretty strong list. I mean, it will take a while to
strong
digest.
In what sense?
Strong in terms of the composition. These are, some of them are people who have, done remarkably well, who have, track record of, success in the different, fields of endeavor. I mean, it's a pretty diverse list. I mean, you have a few, politicians who are there. You have people, some of them who are, core technocrats who have done well professionally, in the different callings. So I think it's a good mix, but I think we should wait until we see the full list so we can, better digest it in terms of the diversity, in terms of the, composition with respect to, the core competence that we're all looking to see in a cabinet of this kind.
The president has taken out of your mix because when I asked the question to Senator Yelo Mishore the other day about some members of the NWC who are jostling and who are also politicking, trying to lobby to get themselves on the cabinet list. So where did I get it from? Mm-hmm. Sometimes we don't like to say we were right. Our information is right. 2 of the NWC members, and now on the list. So 4 people or 5 people now are practically out of the NWC. So you imagine, who are those left?
Oh, many. We're supposed to be about 25 on the NWC.
Yeah, but
so, 5 people...
apart from the deputies,
yes.
The core of the NWC.
No, the core,
it's not more than 12 or 13.
Well,
out of 5 are now out.
Well, you mean of the principal...
The principal roles.
Officers.
The statutory and the substantive roles. They're not talking about the deputy and the vice now. Out of those roles, majorly 5 are out.
Well, yes. 2 by appointment. Let's not forget.
2 by elimination.
It just happened by appointment.
Yeah.
But they're still on the NWC until, of course, they confirm and assume their new offices. But look, the NWC is an organic, entity, if you will, put together by the party to administer the party at that level. So, the resignation of a few people only paves way for the constitutional mechanism of replacement in acting capacity initially to actually take place. That's what you saw with the resignation of the national chairman and the national secretary. You saw the deputy North, Abubakar Kyari, take that position, and then Festus, Fonta, who was deputy national secretary, also, assume, the role of, acting national secretary. So the constitution anticipates and envisages that occasions may come, and in fact does come when these things happen.
Let's take the substantive national chairman that, by the virtue of their own volition, they resign, as well as Senator Yolo Mishure.
Correct.
When are you replacing them?
My hope is that will be done pretty soon, because
how soon?
Soon enough, because we
is
have
the NEC meeting still happening next week, on what we hear.
Well, the NEC meeting is going to happen in a few days. I can say that.
A few days, maybe tomorrow next.
No, we will make an announcement, obviously, to communicate the date. But I know that, we're making efforts to put the meeting together and then confirm a date for the caucus, before the NEC. Of course, some of these issues we're hoping will also, come up on the agenda for discussion. NEC, as you know, is our, highest policy organ of the party. So we're expecting that, the issue of, vacancies in the NWC, along with other critical issues, may play up, during that meeting.
So is it official now that Mr. Ganduje and Senator Basiru will replace Senator Adamu and Senator Yolo Mishure as the national chairman and the national secretary, respectively?
No, we don't have an official decision on that important, question. We don't yet. But as I said, we're again hoping that NEC will deal with, the issue of succession to those offices, and would, hopefully give, further direction on where to go.
Because the word is already is public, is everywhere, and usually, politically speaking, the caucuses in the regions are sometimes responsible for filling this position. And what we know and what we hear is that this is already cast in stone. This is already settled, politically speaking. It's settled. That is what we know. Maybe unofficially, have you been getting some kind of communication unofficially, though? Because the word is out there in the public.
No, the word is out there. People, the media is replete with all kinds of information and discussions. That's the nature of the media, isn't it? People, sometimes have facts, sometimes they speculate. But we are not in the business of speculating, until it's official. We don't, certify it. We don't come out to, verify information that has not been discussed and approved by the appropriate authorities of the party. So until that is done, we are not able to join issues with, the media. You're the media. You have all the freedom in the world to imagine and speculate and also discuss facts. But we must wait until, all of the constitutional processes are followed and decisions made.
There are concern, and that's what Saliu Lukman has, and he says he has resigned. Is that communication reached the party officially too?
You know, like you, I've been reading a lot of material.
But this is beyond reading. Look at that, the official communication from Saliu Mustafa right there on the screen.
Yes.
That he has left the party.
Well, that's a notice of resignation, which I've seen circulating. Again, let me say this. You know, on some of these matters, if a party leader, a member of the NWC, you know, resigns or serves notice of resignation, for example, that's not the end of it. Okay, that notice has to pass through certain official processes before it becomes official. So, you know, with respect to Lukman, yes, I've read all of the reports, but again, you know, our processes must be exhausted for us to be able to say, you know what, a member of the NWC, someone like Lukman, you know, has actually resigned from the party.
So his resignation has not been accepted?
Well, I haven't said that. I'm saying that, you know, we have systems. The information you are reading is what I'm reading as well. But officially, we have yet to actually engage that, you know, discussion at the party.
He raised a fundamental question, which he says the party is moving and the leadership of the party is moving in breach of Article 31.5, Section I of the APC Constitution, dealing with how party officials and the leadership of party has been replaced. Like I mentioned, caucuses, the groupings within the region. Senator Adamu, for example, is from the north central region of the country. From what is being said and touted, Senator Ganduje is from the northwest of the country. He is saying that the wrong thing and the wrong precedents are being laid. By that information, if Senator Ganduje is said to be replacing Senator Adamu, it will have been illegal based on the party's constitution.
No,
are you aware of this?
No, that's not true. You see, first of all, let me say that, you know, that position is actually premature because nobody has followed any procedure to replace anybody. That has not happened. It's completely incoherent. So, you know, I think it's really, you know, jumping the gun to begin to, you know, discuss a matter that has yet to happen. As I said, the party has yet to follow any particular procedure to replace, you know, the outgoing national chairman. So for anyone to be, you know, overheating on that question that has not been done and calling it an illegality, that's completely speculative. And I think that, you know, again...
in politics, yes, what you hear sometimes becomes the reality. And it's the conversation that you hear that becomes the official communication eventually. If Article 3.31.5 of the APC Constitution is anything to go by, if Senator Adamu is going to be replaced, it has to be replaced from the North Central. Do you agree with the constitution of your party? Do you agree? That's the constitution of the party.
That's not...
Should I read the portion to you?
Please go ahead and read it.
It says that, it says, in the case of a national zonal officer, a state executive committee shall propose a replacement to the state congress and zonal executive committee for endorsement. Thereafter, the name shall be sent to the national working committee, which shall be forwarded same to the national executive committee for approval. That is your constitution.
Correct.
Which means if Senator Abdullah Adamu is going to be replaced, it has to be replaced from the North Central region based on this section that I've just read.
See, ordinarily, that is the case. But there's nothing in the Constitution, including the provision you just read, that suggests that the party itself... I mean, what if the people in North Central, for example, were to come up and say, you know what, we're prepared to, or we're willing to...
To cede it.
To cede it.
That's going to be an extraordinary situation against the spirit of this section.
No. There's nothing extraordinary about it. The point I'm making is that a party constitution lays out, you know, what the constitution says ought to be done. But that does not mean that in some cases, the party and those organs of the party do not have the powers to actually vary, you know, some of those provisions or the application of those provisions. They can. And invariably, it does happen. But again, this is all speculative. No one has been endorsed by anyone officially for that position. Yes, you read a lot of, discussions, individuals, party officials coming together to say, we would like to see this individual, actually emerge. As not, that's within their range of constitutional freedom.
Let's
actually, suggest.
Let's wrap this up now.
In the circumstances.
Yeah, let's wrap this up now, Mr. Moka. As the party audited the accounts, which is one of the bone of contention that led to the resignation of Senator Adamu and Senator Mishore, because there are those who raised questions on the funds in the party fund, and they're asking questions.
Yes.
What has the party done?
Yes, we have audited the accounts. We have. Yes.
Is it made public?
We have organs of the party to whom those accounts are provided. And the party is doing just that.
What have you found out? Is there any money missing? Is there any misappropriated or unappropriated funds?
I can't speak to that.
Why not?
I can't.
You're a public officer.
I'm a public officer. I'm not a financial,
but you speak for the party.
Duty holder.
You should know everything about the party.
No, not when it comes to specific questions as you're asking. That's not my bit. It's an audited report. I am not the external auditor. I'm not the internal auditor. I'm not a financial person. I'm the spokesman of the party. I would leave matters that are that specific to those who have been given the duty.
Did you hear maybe some of your party members or leaders were being questioned by the EFCC?
I have no official information about that.
Unofficial information?
I don't.
That some of them were invited on a particular weekend before the resignation happened?
No, I don't have that information.
Would you say that your party is in some kind of crisis and that you're trying to resolve?
No, we're not in a crisis, Sheon. I mean, look, any organization, I've said this repeatedly, APC is a political party. Like any organization, you can't have any sort of period, an extended period of time where you do not have, conversations or difficult conversations or disagreements. But what I think is important here is that when we disagree in APC, as you see with the national chairman and national secretary, people make decisions that are in the best interest of the party.
Right.
And that's what you're saying. It just shows the level of maturity of our systems that we built in a very short period of time.
Mr. Moka, thank you so much indeed for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sheon.
Difficult things that are happening within your party. I hope that you guys are able to manage it.
Yeah, I'm sure difficult things are happening at channels as well, like everywhere else.
Technical difficult things, nothing that are about than to us. Issues of morality and issues of fun. Thank you so much indeed for coming. I appreciate it.